Hello students. In the third module of work, energy and power, I will discuss about potential energy. Energy of a body because of its particular position is called potential energy. I repeat, energy of a body because of its specific position is called potential energy. First, I will discuss about gravitational potential energy. Let us consider initially a body of mass m is at the ground. It is raised up to a height h from the ground. Now, because of its specific position, means position at this height, it will have some energy. That energy is termed as gravitational potential energy. Now, the weight of the body, the mass of the body is m, so weight of the body is mg. In order to raise it up to a point B, which is at a height of h, we will have to apply some force to overcome the gravity, and the minimum force required will be equal to its own weight. Now, work done is equals to force into displacement, height. Force we will have to apply in the upward direction and height gained is h. So, it is F into S. Work done is force into displacement. Force is here mg and displacement is h. So, in order to make it rise up to a point B, which is at a height of h, we will have to do the work mgh. This work done is the potential energy of the body, or this work done will be stored in the body as the potential energy. So, potential energy of the body is mgh. From this expression, it is clear that the potential energy is directly proportional to the mass of the body. If we will take heavier body, we will have to apply more force and therefore more work we will have to do, and therefore its potential energy will be more at this height. Potential energy is also directly proportional to acceleration due to gravity. As we know, acceleration due to gravity changes from place to place. So, if we are at a place where acceleration due to gravity is more, then the potential energy will be more. Thirdly, potential energy is also directly proportional to height gained. If we will have to raise it up to more height, then certainly we will have to do more work, and therefore more will be the potential energy. Now, one mark important question is, what is the potential energy of the body lying on the ground? If the body is lying on the ground, then this height will be 0, because h is the height from the ground. So, the potential energy will be 0. Next, I will discuss potential energy are an ideal spring. Spring, all of us have seen, spring can be compressed, spring can be stretched. If we stretch a spring and then leave it, it regains its original shape and size. In order to stretch, we will have to do some work. And as soon as we leave, release the force, the spring regains its original shape and size. It means on releasing the force, on removing the force, on releasing the spring, there acts a force in a direction opposite to the applied direction, which brings back spring into its original shape and size. Or you can say which restores its original shape and size. That force is called restoring force. Now consider one end of the spring is considered one end of the spring is connected to a rigid support, and to the other end of the spring a block is connected. In the equilibrium means when the spring is neither stretched nor compressed, the total force is zero and the block rests on a horizontal surface. Let this position be x equals to 0, means displacement of the body is, block is 0. It is in the normal shape and size in the equilibrium position. Now if either we stretch or compress, then we will have to apply a force. And in accordance to Newton's third law, to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. A reactionary force will be developed. Suppose in the other figure, this is the B position. The spring has been stretched by a distance x. Now, in order to make it stretched, I have applied a force F dash in this direction. An equal and opposite reactionary force will be developed. As soon as I will remove this applied force F dash, the spring will come back, because this reactionary force, which is the restoring force, which restores the original shape and size of the spring, it brings the spring back into its original position. It has been observed that this restoring force is directly proportional to the displacement. Means more is the displacement, more is the restoring force, because more we will have to apply. If we have to stretch the spring more, we will have to apply the more force, and therefore as the reactionary force or restoring force is opposite to the applied force, it will be also greater. So F is proportional to displacement, and minus sign, it indicates that the direction of restoring force, F is restoring force. The direction of restoring force is opposite to the direction of displacement. If displacement is in this direction, the restoring force is in this direction. Instead of stretching, if I would have compressed it, suppose the spring block has moved up to this, displacement is on this side, So if I will apply the force in this direction, then only block will displace in this direction, and then the reactionary force or restoring force will be in the opposite direction. So it is always, restoring force is always in a direction opposite to the displacement. Therefore, F is proportional to minus x. If I remove this proportionality, I will have to introduce a proportionality constant, which is K. K is proportionality constant known as force constant of spring or spring constant or spring constant. Now, this minus sign is indicating the direction of restoring force opposite to the direction of displacement. Now, applied force, as you can see, applied force is F dash. F dash is the applied force, and it is in a direction opposite to that of restoring force. So F dash is equals to minus F, and since F is minus Kx, so F is Kx. Now suppose initially spring is stretched by a small distance dx. Then the small amount of work done dw will be F into dx, F dash into dx, where F dash is the applied force and dx is the displacement. Here is the positive sign because displacement is in the direction of applied force. Applied force is towards right, displacement is also towards right. Now F dash is equals to Kx, so value of dx will be Kx into dx. Now the total work done in making the block move towards right by a distance x. Initially it was at 0, now finally it has displaced by a distance x. So total amount of work done will be integration from x equals to 0 to x dw. Now the value of dw is Kx dx. Now K can be taken outside being constant, it is x dx. Now this, we have read the formula, integration of x to the power n dx equals to x to the power n plus 1 upon n plus 1. So I will apply this formula. So amount of work done dw equals to K, and the integration of x dx will be x square upon 2, 0 to x. Because here you can see, here x to the power is 1, so 1 plus 1 is 2 upon 2. Now on solving, k equals to, now substituting the upper limit first, x is replaced by x, we will get x square upon 2 minus x is replaced by 0, 0 square is 0, 0 upon 2. So this is half k x square. This work done is stored as elastic potential energy, of the spring u, which is equals to w equals to half k x square. So this is the expression for elastic potential energy of an ideal spring, half k x square, where k is spring constant. If you consider the magnitude of restoring force only, minus is indicating direction, ignore this direction, then F equals to kx. Numerically the magnitude of force will be kx, and from that k will be F by x. So the SI unit of force constant will be Newton per meter. Now I will discuss principle of conservation of energy. Principle of conservation of energy states that energy neither can be created nor can be destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another form. Now, to verify this principle of conservation of energy, I will take the example of a freely falling body. Let us consider a body of mass m at point A. Its initial, since it is falling freely, it starts falling freely, initial velocity is 0. Let, after covering a distance x, it reaches to a point B where its speed is v1. Finally, it strikes the ground at point C with velocity v. Let the height of the body from the ground is h. So, if this distance is x, so this distance will be h minus x. Now, when the body is at this height and it starts falling, initial velocity is 0. So, at this point A, kinetic energy will be 0. But since it is at a height h from the ground, so it will have potential energy, which is, as you know the formula, the mass is m, let the acceleration due to gravity be g, then height is h, so the potential energy will be mgh. So at this point A, the total energy is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy, which is known as mechanical energy. Mechanical energy of a body is the sum of its kinetic energy and potential energy. Since kinetic energy is 0 and it has potential energy mgh, so total energy of the body will be in the form of potential energy, that is mgh. So at A, kinetic energy 0 because initial energy is 0. Potential energy, as I told you, it is mgh. Total energy, which is the sum of kinetic energy plus potential energy, is mgh. This is first. Now, at point B, now again we will see what happens. Kinetic energy is, now it is half m v1 square, because here at this point the speed is v1. Potential energy is mg. Now at this point the height of the body from the ground is h minus x, because it has fallen by a distance x, so this distance is h minus x, as the entire distance was h. So here we will write h minus x. Now total energy is, this will be the sum of kinetic energy plus potential energy. So this becomes half m v1 square plus mg within bracket h minus x. This is second equation. Now, the principle of conservation of energy states that energy can neither be created. If energy neither can be created nor can be destroyed, the total energy should remain same. But here it is mgh and here it is half mv1 square plus mgh minus x. So, if total energy of the body remains same, the only form is changing. Means when it started falling, then initially it was at rest, so kinetic energy was 0, but at B you can see it is having both kinetic energy as well as potential energy, and sum is the total energy. So this must be equal to this mgh. Now, so to show that this is this much, for motion A to B by third equation of motion, v square equals to u square plus 2gh. Now, final velocity at this point is v1 square equals to u square is 0 plus 2g, distance traveled is x. So v1 square is 2gx. This is third equation. From second and third, see, second is this total energy equals to half m. In place of v1 square, I can write 2gx into 2gx plus mg. Now removing the bracket, I will get mgh minus mgx. 2 is cancelled, so this is mgx plus mgh minus mgx. This will be cancelled by this, so total energy is mgh. This is equation 4. So I have shown that this is equals to mgh, means total energy of the body is same. Now further, at C what happens? See, at C, since it strikes the ground, kinetic energy is half m v square, sorry v2 square, because it strikes the ground with the velocity v2. Potential energy, since it is touching the ground, height is 0, so potential energy will be 0, and therefore total energy will be kinetic energy plus potential energy equals to half m v2 square, equation 5. Now again, if energy is neither created nor destroyed, it should again must be equal to this mgh. So to show that, for motion A to C, from here to here, by third equation of motion, v square equals to u square plus 2gh. So this will become v2 square equals to 0 square plus 2gh, or v2 square is 2gh. This is 6. This implies that from 5th and 6th, we can see total energy is equals to half m v2 square. In place of v2 square, we can write 2gh. 2 will be cancelled, so this is mgh. This is 7th. So from 3 equations, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. It is clear that the total energy of the body remains same. It is not changing. There is change in the form only. When it is striking, the entire energy of the body is its kinetic energy. So what is happening when it starts falling from here? The entire energy was potential energy. When it strikes the ground, the entire energy is kinetic energy. Means in the process of falling, the potential energy of the body is converting into kinetic energy. In between the path, at any point, the total energy is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. So kinetic energy at the lowest point is equal to potential energy at the highest point. Means whatever potential energy it will have here, that much will be the kinetic energy here. You can see kinetic energy is half mv square, which is equal to mgh at this point. Here is the potential energy mgh, both are same. Now, to make you understand in a better way, I will solve few questions. First question is, a spring requires 4 joule of work to be stretched through 10 centimeter. Find the spring constant. I repeat the question. A spring requires 4 joule of work to be stretched through 10 centimeter. Find the spring constant. So, I will note down what is given to us. Given work is given 4 joule. Displacement is given 10 centimeter, which is 0.1 meter. Force constant K is required. Now, work done is equals to potential energy of the spring, and that is equal to half kx square. Now, K is required. So, K will be twice of work upon x square. This implies that K equals to 2. Work is 4 joule. X square means 0.1 into 0.1. Now, if we remove the decimal, we will get 2 into 400. That is K equals to 800 Newton per meter. This is the force constant of the spring. Next question is very interesting question. A 10 kg body is dropped from a height of 20 meter. What is its potential energy before dropping? What is its kinetic energy when it is 8 meter high above the ground? What when it hits the ground? So, see, given mass of the body is 10 kg, height is given 20 meter. Potential energy is required, then kinetic energy is also required. Situation is like this. This is a body of mass 10 kg. This is the height 20 meter. So, first potential energy before dropping. So, potential energy equals to mgh, mass is 10 and g is also given 9.8 meter per second square. So, 9.8 into 20. So, this is 10 into 196 on solving, or 1960 joule. This is the potential energy at this point when it was at a height of 20 meter. Now, second part is very interesting. They are saying kinetic energy when it was 8 meter high, when it was at 8 meter height, it was at 8 meter height from ground. Now see, this part is very interesting. Suppose it has fallen by 12 meter. Now the body is at this point here, 8 meter. Here is the body. At this point, the total energy will be kinetic energy plus potential energy. Now here, at this point, total energy will be potential energy. Clear? So total energy is this much, 1960 at this point also. Total energy will not change. Since at this point, as I told you in the verification of the principle of conservation of energy, that at the highest point the total energy will be in the form of potential energy and it will remain same. So when it will strike the ground at this point, the total energy will remain same. It will strike with the same energy 1960, which was the third part. Second part is very interesting. You have to find the kinetic energy. So kinetic energy will be total energy minus potential energy. Now total energy is 1960 and potential energy at this point we don't know. So first we will calculate potential energy at 8 meter height equals to mgh. M is 10, g is 9.8, h is 8. (784 joule). Therefore, kinetic energy will be at this point, 8 meter above. This will be 1960 minus potential energy, that is 784. One 176 joule. Finally, the third part was what when it hits the ground? Kinetic energy. Kinetic energy with which it hits the ground. So that will be the energy, kinetic energy at the lowest point will be the total energy, that is 1960 joule. So the important part is at the highest point the total energy will be the potential energy. At the lowest point with which it strikes the ground, the total energy will be the kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is equal to total energy, which we have already calculated, 1960. At any point in its path between these 2 points, the total energy will be the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy. So I have calculated kinetic energy in the second part by subtracting potential energy from total energy. So it was easy to calculate potential energy at this point. So another way to solve the kinetic energy is either you consider this, the body is initially at rest and suppose it reaches at this point v1 with velocity v. So first you calculate, this is the second method to solve this second part, v square equals to u square plus 2gh. Now v square will be 0 plus 2 into g into h. H is 12 because it has fallen by 12 meter. So v square is 24 g. Therefore, kinetic energy at 8 meter above the ground kinetic energy equals to half mv square. So half m is 10 and v square is 24 into g. So 2, 12, 120 and g is 9.8. 0. Decimal after one place. So by this method also you can calculate. You first calculate that with what velocity it will be at that height, then you apply the formula of kinetic energy, half m v1 v square. Clear? So this way also you can solve. Similarly, if you have to calculate the kinetic energy at this point, then instead of doing this, if you are unable to understand, what you can do, you can calculate, let at this point it is striking, suppose from here to here, for third part I am telling you, again you will apply v square equals to u square plus 2gh, 0 square plus 2, g is 9.8 and h is 20, so this becomes 4 into 98. Decimal is multiplied by 10. So this is now, therefore kinetic energy will be half m v square. So half m is 10 and v square is 4 into 98. So 2, 2, 10, this is 196, 1960. So these are the two other methods to solve the remaining two parts. So by, if you wish to apply the formula of kinetic energy, then this is the method. First you will have to find the velocity at this point to get the kinetic energy at this point, and then if you wish to find the kinetic energy at this point by the formula of kinetic energy, then you need to find velocity at this point. Now next question. A ball is rolling to and fro in a smooth circular bowl as shown in figure. It goes up on either side of the lowest point A to points 10 centimeter high above A. What is the speed of the ball at A? G is 9.8 meter per second square. Third question. It is given. This is a circular bowl. This is the lowest point A. We have to find the speed of the ball at this point, and this ball goes up to, as a ball is rolling to and fro in a smooth circular bowl as shown in figure, it goes up on either side of the lowest point A. So this is the ball, and up to the same, these 2 points are in the same level, and this distance has been given on either side. This distance is same, and this is 10 centimeter high. 10 centimeter. This is also 10 centimeter. We have to find the speed at this point. Now, see, at this point, because if it is going on either side, it is, what is happening? When it is coming down, its potential energy is converting into kinetic energy. When it is going up, its kinetic energy is converting into potential energy. Well, at this point, its total energy is potential energy. When it reaches at this point, its total energy is kinetic energy. Means when at this point, the total potential energy is converted into its kinetic energy. So let speed at lowest point B, then potential energy at the highest point is equals to kinetic energy at the lowest point. Now, potential energy at the highest point mgh, kinetic energy at the formula is half mv square, where m is the mass of the ball. M is cancelled, so we get gh equals to 2v square, or we get 1 by 2 v square, or v square equals to 2gh, or v will be under root 2gh. Now substitute the value. 2 g is 9.8, height is 10 centimeter. 10 centimeter means 0.1 meter, so this is 0.1. Now on solving we will get this 1.96, take the square root, this becomes 1.4 meter per second. So at the lowest point the speed will be 1.4 meter per second. So what I have applied here, the potential energy at the highest point will be equal to the kinetic energy at the lowest point. So with this I finish today. See you in the next module. Go through these questions, and one more exercise I would like to give you, that to verify principle of conservation of energy, I have taken the example of freely falling body. You do it in a reverse way. You are throwing the ball in the upward direction with velocity u. Then what will happen? Its kinetic energy will decrease and its potential energy will increase. Now considering that example means verify the principle of conservation of energy by taking the example that you have thrown a body in the upward direction with velocity u. Then you take the 3 points as I have taken. First, the point of projection. Second, in between the path. Third, at the highest point where it reaches. Then you try to verify the principle of conservation of energy. It will be very, very interesting. So keep on solving this question. See you in the next module. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.